Hello, happy Tuesday. How is everyone? How are you all doing? What's been going on? What have I been doing? I've been up in the loft again, looking at more costumes, organising, sorting out more costumes. So much stuff up there, so many props and things as well that I found. I did find a big box full of vintage scarves that were my nan's and my great nan's, I think. I'm pretty sure some of them belong to her as well. Loads and loads of scarves, like silk scarves, sort of headscarf type things. So I think I might use those on Friday to turn into bunting. So I'll let you know how that goes. Hopefully I'll have it all up on Friday. You'll be able to see. But yeah, so much stuff that I found. I'm going to be not only live on here on Friday, but hopefully live on the Southborough Street community page. So if you search Southborough Street, it'll come up. But I will hopefully be here as well. I'm going to attempt to do it on 2 phones, which is going to be interesting. But we'll see what happens. Hi Lynn, hi Vicky, nice to see you too. I'll see you. Hi Joe. Yeah, Lynn, I've been wearing a lot of sparkly jackets that I found up in the loft. I might wear that tomorrow. I've got a fabulous rainbow sparkly jacket. It's amazing. I might wait till Thursday, to wear that. It's great. Hi Cheryl, you've been script writing, fantastic. Been painting the hall, Sue. Excellent. What colour did you paint the hall? Hi Victoria. Oh, I think that's Olivia. Hello. So nice to see you all. So today we are going to be working with something called negative space. So what I mean by negative space is normally when you draw something, it's all the space around it. And we're going to draw the space around it rather than the actual thing today. So let me just turn you around. So I've got my fabulous, sort of flowering at the moment, with my fabulous orchid plant. So hopefully you've all got something to draw. So whether it's a house plant or just something that's got kind of an interesting shape. Hopefully you've got something like this to draw. So as you can see, this space through here, this is the negative space. This is what we're going to be drawing. So we're going to be drawing around and colouring in that negative space. Now, obviously I've got this big long pole on the end, which normally is where it flowers. I'm not going to bother drawing that bit. I'm just going to concentrate on the leaves and maybe the top part of the pot. So that is what I am going to be drawing. So hopefully you guys have all got something with you. So I'm just going to put my plant there so that I can see through the edges and drop you guys down so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, it does feel really weird to start drawing the negative space because you won't get the proportions right. I'm going to tell you that now. Don't worry about the proportions. This is just freeing up your drawing and looking at something in a completely different way. So don't worry about proportions at all. We're just looking at the shapes in the gaps. That's all we're doing. Hi Angie, hi Sophie, hello. Right, so I'm going to drop you guys down so that you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm just using felt tip for today. You can use a pencil, you can use just something that's easy to colour in a large amount of space with. Pencil's probably better than felt tip actually, but I'm going to use felt tip so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to drop you guys down so you can see. Hopefully, I'm going to drop you down quite far, and then hopefully you can see the plant as well. I know you'll be looking at it at a slightly different angle that I am, but hopefully you guys can see. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start off by really looking at the shape around it. So I'm just going to take the top bit of this pot, so I don't really want the bottom bit, and I'm using my paper in a landscape mode so that I can kind of cut across, almost like a cross section of this plant. Okay, so by looking at the negative space, I am literally just going to, because this has got a gorgeous curve on it here, so I'm going to draw around it, and I want to leave all of that blank and white, so I don't want to put any detail of the inside of what's going on there. Take that round. there. So you're really looking at the shape. And this can really help because sometimes when you draw, your brain fills in the gaps. So it goes, oh, it's a plant. It's a plant in a pot. I know what that looks like. I'm going to draw that. But this can really help you look at what's actually there rather than what your brain is very, very cleverly filling in the gaps. You're actually looking at the shapes that are there. Okay. So as I say, I'm looking at this at a slightly different angle from you guys. So I'm going to take that over there. Up there. Just looking at the shapes, and that goes around quite far, that top bit. I'm going to take that to there. Okay, so while I'm there, I'm going to draw this bit here. So there's this gap here where it goes all the way up, and then I've got a little bit of root in there, and then that leaf comes all the way back down. As I say, I'm looking at a slightly different angle to you guys. So I'm going to take it up there, so that curves a little bit. There's a straight bit up there for the root that's sticking up at the back. And then that doesn't actually, from the angle I'm looking at, doesn't actually touch the pot from the angle I'm looking at. So that stick of root at the back there comes up. So I'm going to draw this leaf in its entirety, and it comes in there so that you guys can see that this is the bit that I'm then colouring in. So it's not the pot, it's not the plant, it's this bit here. So this is your negative space. This is the bit that we're drawing in. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. As I say, you might want to use pencil, you might want to use pens. I'm using this felt tip, just one, because I quite like the colour, and two, because it will show up for you guys to be able to see. Okay, so this is the negative space. This is the shapes that we are drawing. Where my colouring in skills are being shown up now. Who else have we got? Oh, hi Veronica, nice to see you. Join us, excellent. Sue, you never answered my question. What colour did you paint your hallway? Or have you been painting your hallway? It doesn't look like you finished it. Also, I want to see. I think we need to redecorate a little bit. It's when you're at home for so long, you start looking around, don't you? And you're thinking, oh, I could use a different colour there. I could put something else there. See what changes you can make. Right, so in between this, I'm going to look at the same angle again. I have got actually a little gap the other side of this root. So it's just there. So I'm going to paint that gap there. So the other side of this pot, I have got there's another bit coming out there as well. Let's go for that root. So I'm going to go for the root that's sticking up at the back there. And that's kind of jaggedy. And then I'm going to bring it in for the rest of that leaf. And then it comes up because that stick that's coming all the way up at the back there supporting those flowers. And then there's another leaf, this one here. So I'm just going to draw the underside of that leaf. And it's got a bend where the other part of the leaf's coming underneath. Oh, there's another bend there. And I'm going to take that. It's actually quite a thin shape there. Comes back to that stick going up. So I'm up here now, and I've got the other side of this leaf coming out here. Can actually see it from the angle I'm at coming out the back. So I'm going to draw that. Maybe a bit further up. Maybe it's a bit further up. Draw that coming out there. So I really am looking at the space that's around these leaves, and then you've got a bit of the plant coming up there. And then all of this is all blank space, so all of this is going to be coloured in. So that's why if you're using pencil, it's probably easier to cover a bigger area. So all of that space is going to be coloured in. Sue's painted her hallway boring white, but needed freshening. That's good, that's good. So can you guys see what I'm doing there? So I'm just colouring in. So there was a gap in there, a negative space bit there. So I've just coloured that in, and this, and then all of this bit here is going to be coloured in as well. Okay, right, to start on the other. So notice I've done the easiest side first, then I'll start on the complicated side. So let's go for it, let's go for it. So I've got, there's actually another little gap just under there. Where's that in relation to that gap? So that's there. It's kind of there actually. Just between a root and the bottom of the plant. Just another little bit of negative space. So that root is coming up there. And then you've got that lovely big curved leaf coming down here. So that comes off. That's going off the page really. So all of this will also be coloured in. Actually, if I just put lines for now, then you guys can see exactly which bits are the negative space. These are the bits that I will colour in afterwards. Who else has joined us? Hi Michelle, who's joining us. We're drawing negative space today. So it's a really useful tool when you're looking at trying to get those shapes in order. Trying to train your brain to draw what you actually see rather than what your brain thinks you see. Right, so I've got that big leaf there, haven't I? So that comes up. Now, we have got between this leaf and the next leaf, there is a tiny little bit of negative space in there. So I'm going to colour that in. A little bit there, where they cross over together. So this leaf actually joins that other one. So I'm going to cross those off there. And then that leaf actually comes up quite far, doesn't it? Comes up to there. And then you've got that new leaf that's just coming out there. So I'm going to add that in as well. Oh, Lynn's trying to do aloe vera. Oh, aloe vera plants would be quite nice to do, wouldn't they? Because they've got those long, nice long leaves, haven't they? I think. I'm pretty sure. Am I thinking of a different plant? I think I'm thinking of the right plant. Oh, aloe vera plants would be lovely to do. Or any little kind of like little cactus or something would be great to do this with. Get all those negative space. Spider plants, on the other hand, very tricky because they're all got loads of bits coming out and crossing over each other, and yeah, they would be a little bit more tricky. Hi Dominic, how you doing? You've joined us. How's your day? How is your day? Right, I'm gonna draw around that one there then. So that new little leaf there comes out, goes back in, and then we've got the rest of this leaf here. So I've already drawn this bit on the other side, so I'm just going to draw that bit there, and just that, and then there's a big gap in between here that I need to do. Nice big bit of negative space. All right, so I'm going to come round and go up to here. It's got a nice bump on it actually there, and then that is a little bit straighter there. That side's got the plant on. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to do this gap here. Now, there is actually two gaps. So one is just underneath that plant, that leaf, and just from my angle, I can just see through a gap there, right in the middle. And then this gap goes, and I'm ignoring these little twisty bits. Artist prerogative to ignore things. Is the top of that leaf going down, so it's the top of this bit, and then this goes right up to where that plant bottom of that plant comes in to there and then curves down. More of a curve at the bottom. So this bit can also all be coloured in. You can really go to town with that negative space. So I'll put my lines on the other bit and then you guys can see how I'm doing. Lynn, your aloe vera is spiky. Yeah, that makes it quite hard, doesn't it, doing the spikes? I thought I'd chosen a tricky one, actually. I was going to go with my poinsettia, which miraculously is still alive. I'm not quite sure how that's still alive, but it is. What are you up to, Dom? You've drawn Innsbruck Cathedral for your sister's homework. Wow. I'm not surprised it took you a long time. You need to post a photo of it in the comments. I'd love to see that. Awesome. Love the fact you're helping your sister do her homework as well. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going to colour in all of this negative space. So I'm going to colour this in afterwards so you guys don't have to sit watching me. So I think that's it. I'm just going to check for any more bits of negative space that I'm missing. But I think from the angle I'm at, oh, there is one more bit. It's here. There's a little triangle there. Oh, nearly missed it. So I've got my bit down here, haven't I? Yeah. And that root just goes all the way up. And there is a tiny little bit on the other side of that branch going up there. So there we have it. So all of this I am actually going to colour in properly like these, but it would be very boring for you to sit and watch me. So can you see that negative space, drawing in that negative space actually gives you some really, really lovely spaces in here. Really lovely spaces, and it just produces a completely different result than if you were to sit and actually just sketch the plant. It just gives you a completely different look to it. So I can't wait to see all of yours. I can't wait to see them. It's nice and big and bold colour for me as well. What have you got? Cheryl, you've chosen bananas on a stand. Ah, interesting. Interesting. And have they got many gaps between them, or are they all kind of clumped together? But definitely need to take a photo of that one and stick it below. Dominic, Emma's put a comment on who's an art teacher saying, I hope I don't teach your sister. You've done her art. Love that. Tomorrow we're going to do something really nice and fun and messy. So you will need some inks or watered down poster paint, something like that. You'll need a couple of sticks. Now you could use the end of a felt tip. You can use the end of a brush if you want. Don't worry if you can't find specifically a stick. And you'll need a couple of things to make your own brushes. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So you'll need a couple of sticks or the end of a pen. You'll need something like spaghetti, bits of spaghetti, bits of string, leaves, a flower, anything you like that we're going to attach on. So you'll need some tape as well. We're going to attach on to the end of our sticks, and we're going to use them to make marks with tomorrow. We're going to use them to draw with. So either kind of ink or some kind of watered down paint or something like that would work really well. Or watercolours would work really well as well. Although you might want to put them in, mix them up in a different pot so you don't dirty them too much. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to make our own brushes, our own instruments to draw with. So as I say, things like spaghetti, things like leaves work really well for drawing with. Lots of different bits of ribbon or bits of string on the end, all sorts of things, flowers. Yeah, see what you can find to make your own brushes with, and then we're just going to tape them to the end and use those to make marks with tomorrow. So that's what we're up to. See you all tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I hope you have a very, very good afternoon, or rest of the afternoon. It looks very beautiful and sunny out there where I am. So I think we're going to go for a little bit of a walk in the sunshine, get some vitamin D. Enjoy. Please do post pictures below because I would love, love, love to see them. I'm going to finish off this one and I'll put a photograph below when I'm done. See you guys tomorrow. See you at 2 o'clock. Bye.